talk about some quarterbacks here. So short quarterbacks with big cap hits are on the market. The Dolphins have made it clear today that they are going to aggressively shop or release potentially, which just makes me cringe. Tua Tagovailoa.
Crazy.
And Kyler Murray, the Cardinals have basically, hinted towards the idea that they're going to move on from Kyler Murray as well. Now, it's another part to this question we probably need to answer at some point. What's going to be the answer if you're going to move on from these guys? But for now, where do you feel like these guys land? Like, what would be a good landing spot for them? And are there even starters in 2026? How do y'all view this? Let's start with AG on this one.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough because they got so much money tied to them. So it's like it's not as easy to say, I mean, we did see the Broncos, eat an $80 million hit to move on from Russ and, seem to be doing pretty fine right now. But I don't think we see either of those teams do that. I think we see them get creative at probably restructuring, deals to eat some of the money and essentially make whoever's taking them be like, a 1-year deal, so to speak. But I got to think there's not going to be much on a return for trading Tua. I think you probably get something for Kyler just because of his athletic prowess, but you don't really want to act like he's also the same Kyler Murray, post ACL surgery that he was prior. I think Tua, I mean, obviously based on the news we're seeing and just kind of the direction that team's going, I think Tua's definitely not going to be in Miami. I think he's going to end up being released and free to sign wherever, but I don't think where he signs is going to be a guarantee. Like, you're our guy, he's going to come in for competition. And in that regard, I could see like Indy or Minnesota, one of those two places that have, I guess, assuming Indy brings Daniel Jones back, but, one of those types of places like that doesn't necessarily have a long-term answer, but has someone in the building and kind of, bring competition in to see what rises to the top, so to speak. Kyler is more an interesting one to me because, like, of the coach they brought in, and the type of coach they hired. Like, I would like to think maybe just with where they're at as a franchise, they wanted to find an offensive-minded guy to see if they could turn things around in 1 year with Kyler. But at the same time, I think post-June, he gets a lot of fat guarantees tied to his contract. So, want to monitor that. But I think Tua's the more likely one to be moved to a new team. I could see Kyler moving, but either guy, I don't see someone convincing themselves that they're the answer or the missing piece to their franchise.
Okay. All right, RG, what you think on this topic? Do you think they both get moved? Not, is the money too much of a problem for people based upon the talent? What do you think?
Yeah, I think they definitely both get moved. I really just don't see any situation in which either of these guys are starting quarterbacks ever again in the league. Damn. I think the ceiling for them really is just back up. I mean, yeah, look, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but there is a height limit to play this game of football. I'm really I'm playing anybody, and there's been some short players in the game that have had good careers, but specifically at the quarterback position, you need to be tall, you need to be strong, you need to be able to withstand these hits that these defensive players are going to lay on you from time to time. And the unfortunate truth is, if you're not that big, you're not that strong, you're not going to be able to take as much punishment, and your durability is going to plummet. And in this violent physical game, you need to be able to withstand that. And these guys have just shown time and time again that when they're healthy, the talent is there. Tua maybe a little bit less because obviously Kyler's got those legs, but we have seen these guys have successful seasons in the league. They're just not able to maintain it. And that is the crux of the situation. As much as people want, to say and argue for the short quarterback, there's a reason why there's only been a few notable short quarterbacks to win the big one. That being Drew Brees, who is the utmost exception. He is the outlier by far. And he had a career-threatening injury that he had to come back from and defied all odds coming back from it and winning a Super Bowl with New Orleans. And Russell Wilson, who, say for what you want, he did win a Super Bowl, albeit carried by that ridiculous defense, but he still won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
And those aren't, and neither one of those are very recent either.
Exactly. It is a dying breed. These defensive players are bigger, they're faster, much more physical. The emphasis on O-line is much bigger, greater as it's ever been in the history of this league. Clearly, O-linemen are getting paid top market value. So it is what it is, man. Like, it's unfortunate to say, but I just don't see these guys starting anywhere. I think at best you're going to be a good backup, and you just try to go to a good system like the Niners, like Kevin O'Connell with the Vikings, just good systems in place with good coaches, and solidify a backup role. You have starting experience, you have success starting experience in this league. You never know when your number is going to get called upon. And like I said, for some short games like that, games where you just need somebody to hold it down for you, potentially win you a few games, these guys are more than capable of doing that. And there is something to be said about being a very serviceable backup quarterback. Broncos are probably wishing they had that, right about now. I'm not saying they would have won the Super Bowl, obviously, because that Seahawks team I don't think anybody was losing to them. I think the Rams against them was kind of the quote unquote Super Bowl as far as the best teams in the league.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I just think, unfortunately, that's kind of where we're at right now with these two.
Okay. So let me throw some at y'all. I'm looking at the cap number or cap space available right now based upon teams that quote unquote need a quarterback. The Raiders at 2, the Jets at 4, the Rams as a succession plan for Stafford at 6, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They're at 8.
Steelers right after
them. Yep. So is there a world? Because I know good and well that the Dolphins would never ever trade Tua to the Jets. That's crazy.
Maybe.
I mean, they would have to really, facilitate. They would have to take a brunt of that contract for them to do it. You're not going to trade them to your rival unless there is really advantageous for you. So is there a world where Kyler Murray goes to the Jets?
Yeah,
they got the money. They got the money. They definitely need a quarterback because their quarterbacks right now are Brady Cook, Hendon Hooker, Bailey Zappi, and Tyrod Taylor. So clearly, Kyler Murray, for what it's worth, he's better than all 4 of those guys.
He's better than Justin Fields, though.
But Justin Fields not on the contract.
I know, but I mean, I could see him bringing him back. Are convincing themselves someone like Malik Willis deserves a shot, I mean,
you might have to fight the Dolphins for him because I think the Dolphins are going to play or make a play for him because they're of the Packers regime that's over there.
I mean, I think I said that on one of our lockdowns before, like Kyler Murray was going to be. I think I said the Steelers, but I mean, I think it's one of those two teams. I mean, I think Steelers are probably married to Aaron Rodgers at this point, unless they're drafting someone in a few years. Like this is for 2026. I think Aaron Rodgers or nothing, for them. But yeah, I can see a very realistic possibility that Kyler ends up with the Jets and they see what they got with him, and hope that athletic ability
will help them out. It's interesting too. And I would argue that from a passing perspective, for passing prowess, I think Kyler has a slight edge over Justin Fields because he is on the contract. I'm looking at it now. He doesn't void until 2027. I had the year wrong, so he is on the contract for 1 more year. But there's only $10 million in guaranteed money, so they could move on from him potentially if they wanted to. If Kyler was in the mix, or hell, just swap quarterbacks, trade Justin to the Cardinals and bring Kyler Murray in. But I mean, they are the clear, obvious, team that has the money to pay him that could potentially have him. But yeah, the only thing that scares me is the money, man. That's really what scares me because in Tua's situation, even more so, he's guaranteed $54 million. I don't know who wrote this contract, but he's guaranteed $54 million, and the bulk of his signing bonus, his guaranteed money, is being paid this year. So you have to figure out a way to manipulate the cap and that guaranteed money, which got to go to Tua. You can't change that part of it. That's a guarantee. So somebody got to pay it. Whether the Bills play that whole the Dolphins pay the whole $54 million, or they split it down the middle between the two teams, the trade for him, I don't know. But that's a hefty price tag for a guy that's off injured, I would say
concussion away.
Yeah. So because the only scenario that really makes sense if you can really swing it is you make him a trade after June 1 trade option, and where in that case he's still owed $54 million, but the dead money hit is manageable. So you got $32 million in dead money, but you save $42 million in cap space.
I was gonna say, am I reading the dead cap after 2026 is $99 million?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Yes. If you straight up put him right now, it's $99 million.
And I know I've said this before, but why are these teams just paying dudes just for the fact that they're a free agent? Why in the world did Tua get $212 million? What did he do?
We've been asked that question.
Why can't man, I hope I win the lottery one of these days and I can buy a team. So then I can reach this moment and be like, no, dog, what have you done? Here's $30 million. That's for 5 years. That's all you're worth.
Sam Darnold took the team friendly deal and look what happened to him.
Yeah. It's and I get it. Some of these guys, obviously Tua maxed out when he could, but it's just what were the Dolphins thinking? It's
that agent belongs in the Hall of Fame.
For real.
Sure does.
Because kind of back to the short king comments, it's the ones that are good, and even if when they are good, like Drew Brees and Russ when he was in Seattle, they're good because they can quickly read the field, know where they're, quickly analyze the coverage and hit their read immediately. Tua and Kyler do not have that component to their game at all. Kyler just runs around and either get something with his legs or find someone on a broken play. Tua hits his first read or he shits his pants. There's no in between. The only short quarterback in the NFL right now that has that component is Bryce Young. And I'm not going to say that he has it fully, but you can see it when you watch. You see why he won a Heisman Trophy, because he's not known to be Kyler Murray. He wasn't Johnny Manziel at Alabama running around. He was dicing people up, throwing quick routes and quick reads. And so, if you got a short quarterback that has that component to his game, I think there is enough evidence to believe that they could be good. But outside of that, track record's there. They're going to flame out at some point or get injured and flame out. Either way, ends in a flame out. Okay.
Right. And it's just weird to me that, the decision maker, to your point, because again, the Dolphins and the Cardinals both chose to pay their short quarterbacks, right? But Justin Fields is well over 6'2", I think 6'3". Stronger arm, is mobile or more mobile and athletic than both of them. And he gets passed around and he has the same processing problem.
I know.
His ability to process is just as bad as theirs, but he gets bounced around. He can't seem to set his feet nowhere. But these guys got paid big dollars.
Yeah. So, I guess credit to the Bears. They did that twice recently with a guy, being up to get paid. And they said, no, we'll see you.
Not dog. What Randy Jackson say? So no for me, dog.
Yeah. Trubisky and Fields. But to say, and Justin Fields was more decorated, coming out of college or coming into the draft. It's I don't get it how they
fleece these teams in these contracts. And again, the way the language in Tua's contract is insane. He literally got paid. They literally backloaded the guarantees. Normally, front load the guarantees and lower your cap number. But they backloaded the guarantees, which is insane to me. They have no guarantees after this year. I get it. But, dude, he's literally 39. He was $39 million this year. He's going to be $56 million as a cap hit next year, this year. And then $53 million after that. 65 in the last year of his deal if he stays under that contract. That's insane. $235 million in pure cap hit.
It's what has he done? I don't remember.
I guess 5,000 yards.
Yeah,
that's what he did.
And that's enough for $200 million. That's enough for $200 million for one season.
Kyler was doomed from the start because his contract came with the homework provision.
Right.
I mean, that shit was on the wall the minute, the writing was on the wall on that one. The minute the pen was put to paper.
And that goes back to your point. If you have to put that type of clause in the contract, just don't sign the contract. Like, you don't offer the contract.
Why are you even offering that contract? Like, if I'm the lawyer drawing that up, I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? Really?
Like, I don't understand at all. $230 million, but with a caveat, if you can't pay less Call of Duty and more study.
Yeah, I could just see the negotiations. Like, Kyler, they're offering $2. I want $250. It's like, well, they said they'll give you $230 if you agree to stop playing Call of Duty.
Right.
Fine.
Right. That's insane, man.
It's wild.
It is. I see a world with a desperate team like the Jets, where Kyler gets moved and starts next season. Tua, not so sure, because I'm gonna love to see what Tua looks like. Because let's be real, under Brian Flores and didn't have that magical offense under Mike McDaniel, he looked like dog shit. And I got to argue that depending on where he lands in, he has to go to a good OC. Outside of that, he's probably gonna look like dog shit again. So you're signing up for, the rest of that deal that he has going to have him look like dog shit, and you be back in the market or fired in a couple of years because you signed up for Tua to be your starting quarterback. It's a rough game. It's a rough game. But
is there a world where Tua ends up in Atlanta where they got 2 left-handed quarterbacks?
Oh, that's rich. That is rich. I think they move Penix and they
both with the barrage of injuries tied to their name.
Stefanski trying to coach Tua, that'll be a good one.
I mean, like you said, it's a good OC, so that fits that criteria.
Yeah. I don't know though. That's good. The one problem I have, and that's always the issue I had with Tua. That's why I was praying and hoping and wishing that the Chargers wouldn't take him. But thankfully, the Dolphins did us a favor. But he does have a strong arm, and he's not mobile. Like, those two things don't go together in this day and age in the NFL.
And he's short.
And he's short. And
3 strikes.
3 strikes, you're out.
Immobile and noodle arm. That's 3 strikes. 3 strikes.
And used to warm weather,
Four.
I think every November, once you get there, half of the Miami pregame coverage is like, well, Tua's only played in 4 cold weather games in his career. Right. It's like, what are we doing?
0-4.
Yeah, like, whatever.
Exactly.
Oh, dude, yeah,
it's rough. It's rough. Yeah.
I'll end it with this.
Okay.
If Tua's the answer, I don't want to know what question you're asking. The question is fucked.
Yeah.
So just
it's doomed from the start.
Just a bait.
Yeah, it really is. So, yeah, but I like RG's point. I think Tua is a backup. That's an expensive ass backup though. Like find me a team that has the money that needs a bridge. Like, who needs a bridge quarterback? That might be a good situation. If you need a bridge quarterback for a year or two, because again, you really only got to pay him for the first year. Like, if you trade him, you only got the team he's getting traded to only got to legit pay him for a year. If you pay him for a year, then you move on from it after that because you're moving on to your young guy, then cool. But if you're signing for this long term,
I mean, Arizona needs a bridge guy. But they got Jacoby Brissett already. I mean,
I like Brissett way more.
I know. So I don't know. I'm trying to think of another team that.
The only team that makes sense, but they would never do it, is the Raiders, because they have the cap space to take it. It's a decent bridge for Mendoza. You don't have to start him right away, especially if the O-line is shit.
Yeah,
but it just makes
he's going to be concussed by week 4, and Mendoza got to play anyway.
That's my point. Like, you're basically signing that man up for his death sentence. If I'm Tua and I get traded to the Raiders, I'm like, fuck that, dog. I'm retired.
And that goes against your position from a week ago, RG. You can't take a guy at 1 and sit him, especially behind a former person taken in the top 5 whose team said, nah.
We're good.
No, that's a great point. And like I said, I wouldn't do it if I'm the Raiders, but it's the only place that could muster the cap that
I would if I was them, because I'm like, we cannot kill this kid in this first year. The
only reason I would do it is if they get draft picks from the Dolphins, because you have to at that point. You have to get draft compensation. We're taking on this fucking contract. You better give us something to hold on to.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the team, I think really the teams that would need a bridge, a quote, or someone to be a stopgap for 1 to 2 years for some rookie coming in is probably, I mean, the Jets, Colts, Cardinals and Steelers really are the only ones. Maybe Saints if they're.
I mean,
not
Tyler
sold on
Shuck looks.
but
I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't be.
I guess Vikings. The Vikings, because Vikings are bringing someone in to compete with JJ. There's just no way all this stuff happens with Darnold and everything else, and they're like, we're just gonna JJ's gonna figure it out. Like, no, they're bringing someone in. It'll probably be Kirk Cousins, but someone's coming in, right?
Now, they got to rectify that cap situation because they got $45 million over the cap right now. But assuming they rectify that, in Miami, we have to pay a large diary of that salary they got to her. But it's possible. It's possible.
I mean, I guess the Browns, I don't know how they would manage that with all the QB conundrum they have now. But those are really, I mean, there's not many teams that don't have an answer. At least someone that's
there's a more serviceable starter than Tua because again the immobility, the cold weather issue. Because you're playing Cleveland, you're gonna be playing cold weather 60%.
I said the Colts. They got a dome.
Inside, Jacksonville's warm weather. Texans are inside.
The Rams.
Tennessee's only inside, they're outside, but they're Midwest, kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I could see the Rams as a dark horse, maybe more. Well, how old? I mean, how old is Tua or Kyler? They're like same age, right?
Tua 28, Kyler 29. They're a year apart. Yeah.
I mean, I could see the Rams being a dark horse if one of these guys are released. Signing them as a project and see what happens with Stafford. For a couple years. I mean.
I don't know. Because I heard a report today they were looking at Ty Simpson and drafting him early in the draft as a replacement for Stafford when he retires. So I don't know.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Regardless, any of these teams that need a bridge quarterback, go get fucking Jameis Winston. You already know what you're getting. It's going to be a bunch of touchdowns, a bunch of interceptions, but you know what? It's going to be exciting. Your team's going to be in it more often than not.
And your interviews are going to be epic.
and you're going to be relevant because, like you said, everybody loves Jameis. Dude's got a future in media when he decides to hang it up. But he would 1,000% be a better more serviceable quarterback than Tua or Kyler. And it's not even close.
You're right. Okay. All right. Enough shitting us on the short kings. We'll leave them alone. we do believe that they'll get moved, but to where is the question. I think the Jets have the inside track on Kyler, maybe. I can see a world if they paid a large diary of the contract, maybe O'Connell brings them in, to help JJ out, whatever that means. But yeah, I got a feeling they're gonna be looking for new real estate here shortly for my money. So we'll see. Yeah. All right. Good stuff.